Mic'd up with Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got Mitch. We got Jackie boy.
He tried to jump up and he might have knocked it in.
Good time. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I don't know. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys would come in, say,
oh, God.
So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in a headlock. And he's sitting there.
Helmet.
He's punching me in the stomach, like steady punching me.
Here, and as everyone's sitting around, who here thinks Ochinko can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad's been with the team 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Ochinko can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I fucking saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
Be on the spirit plane had some issues. I think she was sleep farting.
You heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled.
Whoa. What was that?
Time to start the show. Why would I have that?
You had the circus or something.
6'3", I'm waiting. Like, I don't even know what I'd be doing.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you going to bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about it?
Yeah. The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? And it's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they're all fatter than me.
Players, look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
Yeah. He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. Hello. Good evening. Welcome back to Mic'd Up. Today's Monday, February 20th. Happy Mardi Gras. We don't have a show tomorrow. Mardi Gras is officially tomorrow. Mardi Gras has been going on for a little while.
Show tomorrow anyway.
What? I said we don't have a show tomorrow.
We wouldn't have one anyway.
I understand that. That's why I'm saying Happy Mardi Gras today.
Oh, okay.
Because we don't have a show tomorrow. Because we don't have Monday, Wednesday, Fridays are the shows.
Lloyd on Demon Time to start the day.
Coming at me hot.
God.
Yes, Happy Mardi Gras. This is the first, I say not the first year, but I did not do one lick of Mardi Gras this year, and I was okay with it. I was actually pretty happy about it. I've been blowing and going for a little bit, for about 2 months, and I mean that's if you're gonna take that to make it okay, whatever. I've been going real hard. I did that on purpose, obviously. You didn't see me smile? Play the tape back. As I'm saying, I'm going hard and I smiled, of course. I've been doing a lot.
There we go. I'm done.
Over the last 2 months. So this weekend, I was like, you know what? I don't want to do anything. We were supposed to go to New Orleans, didn't go to New Orleans. Probably a good thing that we didn't go to New Orleans because of everything that happened yesterday. But happy Mardi Gras. We're back here. We're live for Mic'd Up. And let's get through the Heineken headlines. Baseball season started last weekend. They start the season 3-0. Did what they needed to do. Why are you laughing over there? Why? I mean, I literally joked on purpose on myself, and Lloyd doesn't believe that I did that, but it's okay. I mean, that's literally part of why I said
know,
it.
you feel contentious today. You got.
I'm not contentious. You came at me from the jump for no reason. So,
Top ropes.
literally, I was right on what I was saying, and then he comes at me. So it's okay.
No show to.
But Jay Johnson live, 6:15. Jay Johnson Mondays, obviously. We are back on track. He's going to recap the weekend, talk about how he thinks that his guys performed. Obviously, we watched it. I know a lot of people watched it. Me and Jay went to the game on Saturday. Lloyd had to go to Alexandria for a wedding, right? So we got to see it firsthand. And I'll tell you what, I mean, they looked impressive. They did what they needed to do. Offense always is going to be a little bit slower. Offensively, they're great. But the firepower and everything that you think that you were going to see, they hit 4 home runs over the weekend. You're going to see it, and they're going to continue to progress. But the offense, I thought, was ahead of what they normally are at this point in the season. But the team looked impressive. The pitching staff looked impressive. The defense looked impressive. And, I mean, that's all you can really ask for going into the opening season. We're going to get more in detail with Jay Johnson when he comes on the – God damn, I can't talk. When he comes on the show, not in studio. Joe Schwartz is in studio in the 7 o'clock hour talking women's basketball. They have 1 home game left. That is this week, I believe. I think it's on Thursday. Sunday. They play on Thursday, but then at home on Sunday. Last home game, last chance for you to have the opportunity to go see them in person before the SEC tournament. Obviously, I think they're going to host some postseason games here, which will be electric, but he's going to come in. He's the unofficial hype man of women's basketball, so we'll let him do his thing. Have some clips and post it out. Paul Skenes won SEC Pitcher of the Week. Not the year yet. Maybe the year. But of the week.
Early call.
Yeah, early call. I appreciate that. And it's going to be a big baseball show. Like baseball started. We're a baseball heavy show right now. We're going to have a lot of fun talking about baseball. Before Jay gets on here, though, I want everybody to talk to me since I started this and everybody wants to come at me. How was your weekend?
Good. I went to it's not Catholic church, but it's like Catholic adjacent. Episcopalian. I went to an Episcopalian mass.
There we go.
Very close to being like Catholic church. I skipped the body, trying to go low carb.
They have that over there?
And just went straight wine. And apparently the priest looked at me a little funny. He thought that was a bizarre move.
That is a bizarre move, but
yeah, it did seem a little like I kind of put myself out there.
If you're not gonna take one, just don't take the other.
But I wanted one and not the other.
Yeah, well.
But other than that, good time.
Good. Happy for you. When'd you get back?
Oh, I had to go back for Hold the Rope.
Oh, on
yesterday.
Sunday.
Yes, had Ben McDonald on.
There you go. That's good. Ben's great.
Skipper was there.
Ben did a good job calling the game this weekend. Len Rollins is it's unbelievable what he does. Listen, he's been doing it for a really long time, and he does. I guess people enjoy it. I'm not saying he's bad, but the some of the calls he has are pretty entertaining and it's fun. I think that's his brand, and he's embraced it and he's gone with it.
What's your favorite one that he got?
I mean, there's
Give me your favorite.
I couldn't even tell you. He talks about he's hotter than fire ants on something, and I'm like, what?
He loves to describe the sky.
Yeah, that's his thing. And Ben always sets him up for it.
He did. He hit his blue was a varicose vein. And then Ben just didn't say shit right after. He's like, oh, hey.
Yep. Listen, they do a good job. I've never done that, so I can't.
I think you'd be good at it.
Maybe. We'll see. Maybe I'll get.
You do have to get signature calls though when you do it now. You got to have a home run call.
No. That's the guy that I'm doing it with. I just talk about the game. Oh yeah. Well, I don't have no signature call. How was your weekend, Jay?
It's good, man. It wasn't bad at all. Went down to New Orleans Friday. Almost got. Listen.
Clip.
No, stop. Just whoa. Listen, if you haven't been in the New Orleans traffic during Mardi Gras in a while, oh my God, it's
brutal.
special. It's unbelievably bad.
Brutal.
Got caught in a little bit of it in like I'd say probably maybe a mile and a half stretch. Got through it, whatever, had some dinner down there Friday night. Came back Saturday morning, game Saturday. Chilled, didn't do too much Saturday night. And
got a new
slow
whip?
Sunday.
That's what I was about. Was it the last
we had
trip
a
in
lot
the
of
old
things.
whip?
No.
First trip in the new whip.
First trip in the new whip.
No, yeah. No, I didn't drive at all. Actually, no, I'm
even
sorry.
better.
I drove. We didn't drive my car.
Oh, even better. You got her car.
Yeah.
Her car. Nice.
Yeah.
Taking advantage of this marriage already.
Jackie, how have you been this week?
Spent the weekend at the box. Was
no Mardi Gras for you?
No, I didn't.
Okay, listen, I respect the dedication there. I really do.
That, and I had 3 exams on Thursday, so I was a little pooped.
Hey, so here's my question. LSU as a school, they're out Monday and Tuesday, right? Like this week.
Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday until 12:30.
Right, and then
Well, huh?
Hey,
So
you
you got
know,
a 1 o'clock
like,
class
yeah,
on
like,
Wednesday?
yeah.
Wednesday
so you have to go if you have to. Which no one's gonna
Which
show up.
I don't, so I don't have anything on Wednesday.
But here's my question. So then spring break is next week.
I don't think so.
I just say that because the LSU is going to play,
I can look it up.
and then so they're just going to miss on Monday and then go straight to Texas. I thought that was spring break. I didn't look at the schedule, but based off of what LSU's baseball schedule is coming up, they're going to be in Dallas Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then they go to Austin on Tuesday. I just imagine that would be the
No,
spring break.
spring break is March 13th through the 17th.
Okay, so they're just gonna. So these
They're
boys,
just missing classes.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Worst spring break of all time, Dak Prescott.
I mean, that's a tough one. I have never had a spring break in my life. How about that? In my life, I've
I
never done
concur.
spring break.
Me either.
How do you
Never
feel
did one
about
of
that?
those.
I've had plenty.
I'm
I
sure.
don't know spring break.
I don't know.
Me and
I
spring
know.
break
I
never
know
met.
what the beach is, and I know what like a good party on the beach is, but I've never done spring break party on the beach.
Yeah.
I actually worked senior trip.
Let's be honest.
For
You, wasn't-
grad week.
you were not working.
No, they immediately said you will never be hired here again, which was, I mean, I just got to have another one. It was like a freshman year of college, and I just got to go.
So you were just on payroll at the time. You didn't actually. You were.
I just worked the weekend.
You were not working.
No. Maybe I introduce some people to some things. Who knows? You know, if you're gonna start now, start with the, like a shaman.
Whatever you say. I mean,
They didn't agree with it
whatever-
either when I said
whatever
it.
floats your boat, whatever you think, whatever makes your ticker tick, go for it.
Ticker
Yeah.
ticks.
I mean, I guess that's a shaman. You're a shaman.
Shaman.
I don't know if I'd ever call you a shaman, but
Spiritual leader.
yeah, I don't think that anybody's gonna consider you a spiritual leader.
Counselor.
Of
We're
what?
stalling until Jay gets on the show in a couple minutes. Is he in? Is he in there?
Who are y'all most impressed with that maybe y'all didn't expect to be impressed by necessarily? Like,
You know who
caught
I
y'all
was
off
actually
guard?
extremely impressed with is Neal, their catcher.
Brady.
Brady Neal. He's honestly supposed to be a senior in high school. He early enrolled, came to LSU, and was the opening day starter. And I thought that he was going to rotate some of these guys in and let them play. Nope. He was the starter. All 3 days he played. And I know he came in here right as a defensive guy. Like he was supposed to be really good behind the plate, but his swing, I mean, offensively, I mean, he
almost
looked.
had 2 long balls.
Yeah. I mean,
His
he hit the
swing is
ball
so
into the
much
wind.
better than I thought it was.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, he was impressive. I'll probably say, for me, it would probably be Jones.
Yep.
Just because I feel like he's such a physical presence in that lineup,
6'4",
and he
230.
provides so much protection just off of size alone, right? Like providing that somehow he grows a hole in his bat and can't hit anything.
Right.
Just that size alone will scare the absolute hell out of pitchers, especially when guys are getting on in front of him.
For sure. And like you saw him drive the ball to the opposite field. Saw him hitting the right center. Like he.
No,
got
I
it.
think he's
He
a good
looks
hitter.
good.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
I don't foresee him turning into a pumpkin, but that size and like with the guys in front of him, like man, it's gonna help them out. so much.
Gavin Dugas looked great.
Yeah,
Obviously,
he did.
I was happy to see that.
Great weekend for
I
him.
think people look at, oh, he had a bad year last year. Like honestly, like he was hurt a lot throughout the course of the year. He hit over 300 last year. Now he didn't hit a bunch of homers. He only hit 5, but he hit like 306 for the year. So in a bad year, if that's your bad year and you're still being productive in that sense, like it's pretty good. He had some eye issues.
Yeah, and he also said the eye issue was bothering him last year.
And so he had some eye issues. He's got his eye fixed, and obviously he's getting back into the swing and finding his rhythm, and he found it. I mean, he went 6 for 8 on the weekend with 2 homers. Right now, Western Michigan's pitching staff wasn't great. They had a couple guys that were throwing decent. They had a couple guys that were touching 93, 94, but that was really it. Everybody else was trying to get by and doing their things, but so LSU did what they needed to do. They had some good at-bats. Is he in there?
Little poll. No, not yet.
Oh, you looked at me like he wasn't there.
No, if we could put most impressive performance of LSU baseball this weekend, what would be
The most impressive?
Would it be is
Skenes.
Skenes too easy of an answer?
I mean, that's the most impressive, right? Like, that's the question. Who's the most impressive? Just because he's the easy answer doesn't mean you have to skip it. Like, that was the most impressive thing I saw on the weekend. Not only was it that he struck out 12 in 6 innings, it's the fact that he almost threw 100 pitches in game 1, and he was 98 on his last pitch of the game. So, like, the guy's a beast, and I think that was the most impressive.
Well,
thing.
him not included.
Well, I will say somebody that caught
Well,
me
him
off
not
guard-
included. Him not included. The most impressive performance of the weekend.
Has to be Dugas.
I would say, yeah, Dugas was probably up there. I think people were going to underestimate Riley Cooper's performance. He went 5 1/3, no hits.
Yeah.
Like, did not give up.
What was it,
off
like
hit.
71 pitches?
Yeah,
or
he only had
something
like
that?
71 pitches,
Yeah.
and then so he took out, and then I think Collins came in
Struggled.
and he struggled a little bit to find the zone. He gave up a couple hits, he gave up some rins, and then
That
they righted the ship after that. They Ackenhausen, Rosenbaga came in.
What do you call me?
Askenhausen.
I think someone that was underrated.
Hey,
last weekend-
Ackenhausen.
By the
Whatever his name
way,
is.
he's got a nice, sharp little slider.
Yeah, he does. We were talking about that. He
Sharp
didn't.
little slider.
There was no loop in it. It like would come in and just fall off, and it looked good. I mean, he looked.
I think someone that was underrated on the weekend was Ben DePolt. He didn't have a single hit, but you look up on Sunday, he had 4 or 5 RBIs because every time he came up, he seemed to move the guy over or get the guy in.
Yeah.
Whereas somebody at the bottom of the order, that's what you need out of him is to, get the job done.
Well, that's we talked about that too. Is like we've talked about it on the show before too. And I know Jay's in there. I want to get this thought out before I get to him. But we've talked about how I think small ball is like I don't think it's there anymore. Like the bunting and moving guys over that way. But I think situational hitting has been forgotten about, and I think they did a really good job of that this weekend. Right, like they had opportunities where they had get guys over and get guys in, and it started honestly early on when Dylan Cruz on second. Gets to third or goes first to third, and then short fly ball to left, tags up, scores, gets the RBI for Trey Morgan. Even though there's probably a few guys on our team that are be able to score on that ball, but that to me is just as important as hitting homers, right? And so Jay's in the on deck circle, so we're going to take a 30-second break, get him situated, and we'll be right back to you. You're watching Mik'd Up. Those are your Heineken headlines. Heineken has been an unbelievable sponsor for us, right? I understand some people may not like Heineken, and that's okay. Tell me that.
Gotcha.
Good shot. Heineken just came out with
Thank you.
Heineken Silver. And if you have not liked Heineken in the past, that's okay. Heineken Silver doesn't taste anything like the other Heineken beers. Heineken is their light beer. It is 95 calories. It is 4% alcohol. It tastes very good. It's very crisp. Sit back, relax, open up a Heineken Silver. Enjoy baseball season coming up. Enjoy the LSU Tigers. Enjoy some women's basketball. If you're watching it at home, pop open a Heineken Silver. Because I'll tell you this, and look, Heineken's a sponsor of us, and I am very happy and honored that they are a sponsor. I did not really enjoy Heineken in my previous times drinking Heineken. I have learned to like it a little bit. Some people like it. Tell you what, I drank this Heineken Silver and I enjoyed it. I got a couple cases delivered to my house today actually, and I'm enjoying it. So go ahead, go try a Heineken Silver. It's their new product. It's their new beer. It's their new line. It is very light, 95 calories, 4% alcohol. Tastes really good. Try it. Thanks, Jack. That was nice. We didn't even practice that. First time. All right. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. We are excited to have our conversation. I'm going to try to keep Lloyd as quiet as possible on this next one. No questions until he raises his hand. I give him the permission to ask the question.
Good luck.
Yeah. Coach Jay Johnson coming off a fresh 3-0 weekend sweep of Western Michigan. Coach, thanks for joining the show. Appreciate it.
You got it. How you guys doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing? It was a big weekend. What did you see from the boys? Is it as expected? Did they exceed your expectations, or is it kind of par for the course and move on to the next one?
Yeah, I mean, my expectation is we're going to improve throughout the season. My expectation is that we show up really prepared on game day, which I believe that we definitely did that. And my expectation is that each player does their job relative to what they need to do to help the team win. And I thought we did that really well, and I like the brand of baseball, and good. And let's move forward.
Moving on to Southern. But I wanted, before we get into all of the details and the nitty-gritty of what happened, we talked a lot about, before the season started, we talked a lot about the depth of this team and how I think that's going to be a strength. And I think that, there's a lot of opportunity for you to mix and match lineups. And you had to see the depth probably a lot earlier than anybody wanted to, with Tommy White going down the first inning of the first game. How important has that depth been, one? And two, what is the status of Tommy White?
Yeah, I think the depth, we could kind of see it the last couple of weeks. And what I mean by that, we had some really high-level inter-squad games. I think the weekend before the season, we played Friday night. It was 6-3, good pitchers on both sides. Felt very much like a real SEC game in terms of how the game was being played. Same thing on Sunday, the second-to-last scrimmage that we had. So that wasn't a surprise, even really counting on that to be a staple or a strength or give us options really to withhold or withstand some thunderbolts. And we've had a few already here.
Right.
But that was good to see. I think relative to Tommy, get a little better each day. Certainly we're in a much better spot than it looked when it happened. And so feel really good. Don't know if he'll play tomorrow or not.
Yeah.
But he's already got a bat in his hand. He kind of tapped me on the shoulder in the fourth inning yesterday. And it's like, hey, I'm ready to hit if you need me to.
Is it going to affect?
Thanks, big guy.
Is it going to affect?
Did you just take the bat from him?
Yeah. Did you say you got to sit down? I'm gonna tie you down to the bench because you ain't playing?
Nah, I love competitiveness.
Yeah,
I mean, this guy, that's a underrated quality. I mean, everybody knows what type of hitter he is and the power that he has, but just wants to compete, and that's a frustrating thing when something like that happens. Again, the good news is I think we're much closer to him being available than not.
Yeah.
And not sure that I thought that was the case when I saw him go down. We dealt with something really similar last year with Cade Doty in the ninth inning at Vanderbilt in the last regular season game. Did the same thing, and he probably could have toughed it out. Played the next weekend in the SEC tournament, even though it would have been painful. So I don't think it was quite as severe as that one, if that gives you like an indication. Yeah. But I'm not a doctor, and I'm certainly not an athletic trainer, so we're doing the best we can day to day.
I got you. Well, hopefully he's okay. Paul Skenes had a lot of hype, right? He came in as a potential top 5, top 10 pick. I think as the season goes, I think he's going to contend for the number 1 overall pick with Dylan. I think those two are going to probably duke it out. Especially if he continues to pitch the way he did on Friday. You've come on the show. You've been, very open about how talented and how excited you are to watch Paul Skenes pitch. You've hyped him up, and he goes out there on Friday and he throws 6 innings, punches out 12. I mean, I don't know if you could have even expected him to be that dominant that early on in the season. His first pitch of the game was 99 miles an hour.
Yeah, that was sweet. It was like, welcome to the season. Here we go.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, I'll let him kind of his performance and how he carries himself and talks speak for itself. This dude is special. It's like with him and Dylan, we have something very unique where your best players are your best people, and they're the leaders of this team. There's no unequivocal two leaders of the team. And I mean, he was just out on the field Sunday, just kind of hanging out, and I went back out there after I was done with the media, and we were just talking. And the level of conversation that you have with Paul is remarkable. It's every bit as remarkable as the pitching arsenal. And so I wasn't surprised at all, and I don't say that with any arrogance because the game of baseball is really tough. But when I talk about maximum effort towards preparing, I don't even have to think about whether that's happening there or understand what we need him to do to execute. It's on a different level. This is going to be, great year, and then in short order, he will be pitching in the major leagues. Yeah. And from a college version, Steven Strasburg is probably the closest thing that I've seen as a comparison.
Coach, without having to, single any of the guys out, what is your assessment of the freshmen's play this weekend? And I don't even mean so much in terms of how they've performed against the other competition, but they are performing on a brand new stage for the most part for them in a situation now where it actually counts. It's one thing to be on that field in a fall game. It's another thing to be on that field under the lights or with real umpires and in a real game with real people there really watching a real game. How did you feel that they performed, and what are you looking for them to improve on going forward?
Yeah, I really like this class, and the talent you could see, and you could see it early. And, we're really intentional with how we've developed them. Like in the 2 fall games that we played against McNeese and Louisiana Lafayette, I want to say Paxton Kling, Brady Neal, Jared Jones, like we got those guys like 20 at-bats in those 2 dates because you can kind of see if these guys figure it out, they're going to be ready to go. I think I was most pleased with their ability just to slow the game down. And we've talked about that at length. This is the biggest transition they're ever going to make in baseball from one level to the next. And we were just looking for poise and maturity. And I think we got that. And so there you saw their talent come out in certain instances. And, you can keep going down the line. Right. I mean, like Guidry made a nice play. Mm-hmm. I mean, I could think Fry can like win the Golden Spikes here someday. And I mean, he's not even in the starting lineup. And, he will be at some point, and that's exciting. Mick Paul led our team in hitting for the 3 weeks of the season. And so I'm super excited about that group to be able to build the program with them and develop them. And their attitudes are all great. Their work ethic is great. And wasn't Chase Shores obviously pitched really well. I wasn't really surprised because of their talent, but we've been hammering home just the mental game side of this thing. And they passed their first test. Nice. And that's what I was.
For sure. You mentioned Chase Shores. I want to talk a little bit about the pitching staff in a whole, but I guess my question is, early on in the season, there's always people talk about pitch counts and how far these pitchers are going to be able to go in a game. You see Friday and you see Paul Skenes go and he throws 98 pitches. He goes 6 innings, throws 98. Then you see on Saturday, Riley has, I think, 5 1/3, and he's thrown 72 pitches with no hit ball. And you see Chase going on Sunday, and he threw 3 1/3. What's the rhyme or reason? Is it just a feel thing, like you're going to watch the game, or is it just are these guys on a strict pitch count based off of who they are, where they've come from?
Yeah, no, we have a board in here coming. A lot of people surprised. It's like, hey, we'll let this guy just go this amount of innings or pitches. That's not how it works. Going into the weekend, there's an inning limit and there's a pitch limit on the board going into it. And it's all relative to the individual guy. So in Paul's case, against our team the previous Friday, he went 88 pitches. And so he was not going to start an inning over 90 pitches. That was not going to happen. As a matter of fact, if it would have been 89, 88, he wouldn't even gone back out for the 6th inning. And you guys, those strikeout guys, their numbers can get up a little quicker. Yeah. So at the end of 5, I believe it was a 3-0 game, and he was at 81 pitches. Mm-hmm. And so we got to the last hitter, and I want to say he was at 92 or 93. And let's say the guy got a hit or walked him, he would have been out of the game. We had Ty Floyd up in the bullpen, actually, because it was 3-0 at that time. And so his was, he wasn't going to start an inning over 90. So, boom. And he was built up for it from, let's just call, we shut him down in the fall 2 weeks earlier. He didn't throw in the UL Lafayette game. He didn't throw in the Fall World Series to get a little bit more time to get the build-up to have him ready to go 90 on opening day. Yep. And so also, pulling back the hitting piece a little bit has allowed him to really work on his conditioning and transform his body. He's in phenomenal shape. So all good there. With Riley, the previous week, he went 60 pitches in 4 innings, our team, with no hits. So he hasn't given up a hit in 15 innings.
He looked great.
Whatever. But I felt like 71 was right about the right call. I forget because off the top of my head because I've already moved on to the next thing. But it was like the first hitter of his last inning or the switch hitter was a left-handed hitter. So it was like, let's let him go back out. Yeah. And then he finished about 10 or 11 above what he did the previous week. And so that was a good stopping point right there for Riley. And then with Chase, we had built him up, and then we gave him the weekend off last weekend. And Les wanted to work with him on a couple of things. So I just didn't feel good about like 2 weeks and then run the guy up to 90 pitches. So he was right about 61. Felt like he had a good outing. I think it was good to test Sam Dutton, who really improved when we had second and third one out, and he executed beautifully right there. And so all these decisions were made well before going into the game and by design, not by default.
Right.
So.
Right.
Coach, I think one of the surprises of the weekend that, I guess we didn't kind of see coming was Riley getting the start on Saturday. With the extensive history that you two have and what he's meant to you and to your programs in the past, how good of a feeling is it knowing that you have that guy here again and him being able to be – because I would imagine just knowing what we saw from him last year, knowing what we saw from him to start this year already, he's a jack of all trades. And he's a bulldog, and he's ready to go whenever. How good of a feeling is it knowing – even on a deep staff like this, how good of a feeling is it knowing that you have this guy here again ready to go for you whenever you need it?
Security blanket.
Oh, big time. I mean, it's hard nowadays to get consistency right from the first time you put a guy out the field or on the mound, and that's what he's been for me. I mean, and I tell it all the time. Arizona, like, we were losing the first game of the regionals in 21, and we brought him in, and he totally controlled the game for us. I think he even got the win. First game in the Super Regional against Ole Miss, same thing. Pitched in the opening game in Omaha against Vanderbilt and Kumar Rocker, and handled all those things beautifully. And then we did this analysis of last year. Like, he pitched at the most tipping point situation of the game like 25 times in 2022 for us. Yeah. So you talk about trust, like, I mean, it's through the roof. And then at some point, like, I don't really care of what, like, Baseball America or D1 Baseball guys on prospect rankings. I'm looking at, I mean, it had carved all fall and all, 3 weeks leading up to the season. Like, it was an easy decision, and our players and would tell you that. And then, I mean, you look at it's a 4-pitch mix. You guys know as hitters, when guys are like that, that's really tough to play against. And I was pumped for him, and who knows how it'll go, but like, he'll probably go back out there this weekend, but we know we can go right to him out of the bullpen. And, the guys worked hard for it. I mean, I told him in my exit meeting when I left, right before I came to LSU, that, hey, I envisioned him as a starter, moving forward. And that was a big goal of his. And then, so to see that finally come through was pretty awesome.
Have you ever heard no from him? Does he know what that word means?
No, I will tell you, this was a goal of his for a long time to get to the rotation. I mean, if you followed this dude's high school career, man alive, like, it was, I don't think he lost in like 4 years. And high school baseball in Fresno, California is really good. Like, it's hard to explain, but if you saw these facilities and these programs, it's really, really good. And he's like a legend, you know what I mean, there. And
a legend here now.
And the guy, he just wins. And so, I mean, you guys had those guys on your staff that maybe aren't as heralded as other guys on prospect lists, those types of things. Like, I know he's going to be a professional pitcher for a very, very long time.
Yeah. And I say that jokingly too, because I really compliment him. Being able to talk to him, dude, I really appreciate the competitor in him. It's awesome to see.
Let's stay on the pitching staff. You talked about Ty Floyd a little bit. Is he the closer? Or is he the guy that you're going to pitch as of now on, like, the tipping points of the games where it's, hey, if it's in the 7th inning and it's a tight game and we need to bring a guy on the pen, is he the guy? Or is it just kind of, he may be in the rotation, he's been the closer? Like, what's the plan for him moving forward? Because he looked electric. He looked like he did towards the end of last year. I mean, he was throwing the old 96-mile-an-hour invisible. Fastball's down the middle, nobody can sniff it.
Yeah, I feel great about him, and I won't pin him down to a role. I mean, you may see him in rotation at some point, but I think something that was key last year is we were really good at close games, and a lot of that had to do with Riley, Paul Gervais, and Eric Raiselman. And like we were a little bit better than our opponent in the bullpen. So if we could just weather the storm with the starters or matchup or whatever the hell we were doing to get it to the 7th inning last year, like that was a huge advantage. And so I thought about the game the other day, and Dutton did a great job getting us out of a little bit of the jam. And then we came up, didn't score, but I felt like we were going to. We were hitting a lot of balls hard on Sunday. And so it was just like, you know what, let's put him in now, because there's no way we're going to be at a competitive disadvantage, you know.
Right.
And I think with most teams, and that's with great respect for the teams that we're going to play, like if you have a guy that's solid, like eventually you're going to win out and you're going to be able to score some of those close games. So, you know, I really liked having him sitting there on Sunday in a game that was tight. That was a big advantage for us.
Let's switch gears to the offensive side. We talked a lot about pitching, and I think that's been very obviously well earned because the pitching staff threw so well this weekend. But there's one guy in particular. The offenses did, in my opinion, exactly what you needed the offense to do first week. First week of the season is always kind of one of those weird types of deals. You face some guys who are throwing below the hitting speed. You have a lot of jitters. So like the offense, I felt like performed great. But one guy in particular who I thought was a pretty good story, and it's nice to see him kind of get back on track, was Gavin Dugas. He comes in there, replaces Tommy, I guess, in the lineup. He plays second base, and he goes out there and goes 6 for 8 with 2 homers. What did you see from him? What is kind of his mentality, and how good is that to see him kind of get going?
Oh man, there's nothing I like seeing more. You know, just it's a difference-making player. And you know, it's just, I mean, last year he was fairly productive.
Right.
And did I lose you guys?
Nope,
okay?
got you.
Okay, got you. So he persevered through a lot of weird injuries last year. I mean, it was like a run of bad luck that I've never seen. And he was fairly productive when he was in there. And then this fall, like, I mean, something wasn't right. Like, I mean, he was like 3 for 30 and swinging and missing by like that much. And so I just said, hey man, like, can we go get your eyes checked? Like, I literally want to like look at this. And he has this thing wrong with his eye that was like borderline going to end up legally blind.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy. So we get surgery. He misses the last 4 weeks of the fall. Takes a month and a half to recover. Gets recovered. Takes live at bats the first day we take live at bat, and then there's some problem with the contact, and like he's out like another 2.5, 3 weeks. So he did not have an at bat from like, let's say October 28th until like 2 weeks before the season.
Wow.
And first weekend back, he hit a homer, but he didn't do much else. Like it wasn't that good of a weekend. But then last weekend, you could kind of start to, the weekend before the opener, you could kind of start to see it. Hit another homer, had some really good walks, hit some balls hard with runners in scoring position. It was like, all right. And then we weren't sure what they were going to do in the rotation. And I was like, hey, you may even like lead off opening day. So don't get like, just don't be surprised when you see that. Like, I felt really good about what he was going to do. And then we got him in and got him a bad opening day. And then got a single. And then the thing with Tommy, felt good about leading him off and hit the leadoff homer. And, you know, I'm just really happy for him. You know, and what a big lift for our team. That's a big lift for our team.
Speaking of the offensive side of the ball, or in the game, for you as a hitting guy, I thought personally, especially for opening weekend, especially for the beginning of the year, and kind of being able to control yourself and that, you know, like play within yourself, I thought the offense did a pretty good job coming out there and playing and hitting in situational situations. How do you feel that they actually performed in those situations? Obviously, everything doesn't always go right, but as a team, how do you feel like they hit in with situational hitting?
Yeah, I mean, we really take pride in how we score runs. And I know the homers and extra base hits and all that, like, that really grabs attention. But we have this whole blueprint that we play to. And, you know, to simplify it, it's like, don't want to swing at balls. We want to crush mistakes. We want to really battle with 2 strikes. And we want to move the ball forward with runners on base. And that is staying within yourself and understanding what the game is asking of you. And then that kind of bleeds into getting the leadoff guy 4 times a game, having 3 quality at bats at least 4 times throughout the game. And then the next layer of it is when a runner gets to second base with no outs or a third with less than 2, he's in. You're at bat currently making sure he's in. And then it's about getting the starting pitcher out with 10 or more outs to go in the game. Like if their bullpen has to get 10 outs, we feel like we have a real competitive advantage. And then we want to win the 3-base war, win the most innings, and win the big. And so like everything we do and teach and construct and practice is so those things manifest themselves in the game. And I thought these guys were right on top of it right from the start. And I give them some credit because the first 2 weeks of the spring, I mean, they got their rear end kicked by our pitching staff, but, didn't get negative, just kind of kept pushing. And then the weekend before, we looked like a good offensive team. You know what I mean? And I could kind of see it coming, and I think it's a good note to the maturity on the team, like that we played to those things I was talking about really, and that you guys identified really, really well.
Coach, you mentioned the maturity of the team a little bit, and I think that was evident whenever Tommy goes down and Dugas is ready to step in immediately. How almost it seems like it could have been hard for somebody like that to sit on the bench when you see what he does when he gets in the game. How were you able to kind of get that lineup to get adjusted to, hey, it's either going to be next man up, like anybody, you can call on anybody's number at any point, and they're ready to play. There's no divisive part of this lineup. It seems like they're all bought in on what you're selling. I am too.
Yeah, they have to. And then you have to coach that. Like, we didn't just like, hey, hope it goes okay. Like, that's a question I get about all the time. Is like, how are you going to keep all these guys happy? Well, we came here to develop players, so you coach all of them. Like, you don't just go like, hey, you're over to the side here. So they know, like, they're going to get better playing for our staff and playing for our team. And some guys, it's their time right now. Some guys, it's not. But they need to be ready when their number's called upon. And just because you're in there, you may have a great day, and the next day you might not be because we need to do something else for the team to win. So, I mean, all of fall and then all of this preseason camp, whatever we call it, 1 weekend into it, I think there's a really solid understanding of that. Now, we'll see. It's going to continue to be tested, but I have great faith in how that piece is going. And I already mentioned the leadership on the team. Their accountability level, the right thing, being the right type of teammate, being selfless, being mentally strong. They're holding themselves to a standard that's really, really high right now. And so if we could continue to do that, I don't even worry about that stuff.
Right.
What are you complaining about having too many good players? Like, that's lame.
Yeah. I mean, would you rather have not enough good players or too many good players? I mean, that's just like you can't worry. That's not a problem. That's a good thing.
No, I mean, like, I laugh all the time. Like, I mean, we're in a regional final last year. I mean, I'm looking at this thing going like, how are we going to get 27 more outs against a really good team? Right. And then in the second game, after we lost the first game, it's like, man, there's a spot or two in the lineup where it's just like, all right, this is what we're going to do. And that's not the situation we're in today. And I think all of them understand that. And they all came here to be a part of a championship team. And you can't do that without other good players. And so nobody's, against each other, all that. And I got to tip my hat to, some of the older players that, they want to go to Omaha. Other than Bryce Collins, Riley Cooper, and Christian Little, nobody's been to Omaha here. So they're so far so good. We'll keep working on that. And I feel strong about the player leadership. We'll be in a good spot in that space.
Coach, I appreciate your time. Just a couple more questions. I want to talk a little bit about Brady Neal. Did you anticipate, was the plan, hey, you're going to play all 3 games? Or was it, okay, well, I mean, you're playing too good for me to take you out, so I'm just gonna keep you in there? Yeah, no, I mean, I look at this thing all the time. Like, I mean, going back to the fall, and, we played at Louisiana Lafayette in November. It was like November 11th or 12th. And we started him in both the games of the doubleheader. And I actually played the first game exactly like a real game. Like, if you make a change, you're out and this person goes in. Right. And Alex had really special defensive skills. And he's improved as a hitter too. I mean, he only had 2 at-bats this weekend, but, he's working hard and he's improved. But, having a left-handed hitting catcher that's ready to take mature professional at bats,
that really advances our offense, especially when you're thinking about to get through like Cruz, Trey Morgan, Joe Barrett, Jordan Thompson, Tommy White, and then you got this team
Keep
sitting there
going. Go more.
Yeah, right. And so that is also a very good catcher too. I mean, he handled 97 and 99 with 3 pitches really well on Friday. So I'm just the development part of him from, let's say, November 12th to now has been, or even January 15th to the start of the season is remarkable. And, there's other guys in that category too.
Of course.
But yeah, really, really pleased with the catchers. I think Brady caught 19 of the 27 innings and Alex caught 8. And we were very efficient with our receiving metrics or blocking, and both those guys did a really good job.
With the addition of Brady being able to kind of get in the lineup and do some special things there too, we spoke about it a little bit earlier, but and I don't want to take away from his actual ability to play the game as well, but the presence of Jones in the middle of that lineup, how big do you think that's going to play for you guys going forward?
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, the ability is special. People ask me what I think of him. I'm like, it reminds me of Mark McGuire.
I mean, the kid's huge. He's
large. Might not be a catcher for long, Coach.
Yeah, you think about Mark McGuire, and everybody thinks about the home runs, but he was like a really good hitter. Good swing also. And that's how I think about Jared and his ability to make adjustments and slow the game down, the confidence he plays, just total presence. And that was good. And that's not always going to probably be perfect for, any of these young guys. That's not how baseball goes. But I think it was a good step in learning how to trust themselves and their ability and slow the game down. And those things will be very valuable, for us moving forward this year and in the coming years.
Coach, moving on to Southern, like I said, only a couple more questions. We play Southern tomorrow. It's Thatcher Hurd's LSU debut. What can fans expect to see from him? What is he going to look like on the mound? Obviously, you've had some high expectation for him as well, and you've been very high on him in the media, and he's super talented. So what can we expect to see tomorrow from him on the mound?
Yeah, super competitor. First off, that's a part that, people don't see. I referenced Trey. Trey's a super competitor. Thatcher kind of got that DNA where he's coming for blood, kind of thing, which is awesome. But pitchability is elite. It's really good off-speed stuff, really good fastball, velocity, movement, location, change speeds. Really excited to get him out there. There was just something we wanted to work on last week. And so he really wasn't even available to pitch until yesterday. And we would have used him yesterday if we needed to use him yesterday. Yeah. But it lined up for him to be able to pitch on Tuesday. Super excited about that. He's going to be a huge part of our team, this year and next year, which is a great thing.
You have a big weekend, obviously. You're going to Dallas. You're playing. I guess it's Arlington, right? Not Dallas. Arlington, I guess you're going to.
Round Rock.
Round Rock. That's it. I knew it wasn't Dallas, but it was around the area.
You're like 2 hours away.
I know. I'm struggling, but that's probably going to be the obviously the teams that are there that's going to pose a challenge that was different than Western Michigan posed, and you go and play Texas next Tuesday. I'd imagine that the guys are ready, but what are you expecting and what do you want to see from those guys? Because this is going to be a true road game, probably for really 4 of the games. You're on the road. You're playing at Texas on Tuesday. What do you want to see from the guys going forward over this next week?
Yeah, just this brand of baseball that we talk about and train to and practice to and want to play to, and the standard of winning or above winning. And I trust them to do that. Now, great challenge. Kansas State, I think, 4-0 as of today. Iowa won all 3 games last weekend. We're facing some dude that's going to throw 110 miles an hour allegedly. Wow. Punch had a Paul Skenes outing last week, so that'll be awesome. And then Sam, Houston State's a great team as well. That's always in the hunt for the NCAA tournament. We played them multiple times in the NCAA tournament at Arizona. So, and then at Texas, which is a great challenge as well. So. Yeah, it's going to be great. I think it's on the schedule for a reason. I think it kind of gives you a simulation of a NCAA regional, which is important. I think playing at a neutral site is great because it's Omaha's a neutral site. And, the competition level probably goes up, and that's good. There's nothing about that that's not awesome. So just development, progress, improvement while we're winning games is what we're going after.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Obviously, I guess I'm gonna have to subscribe to D1 Baseball so I can watch it.
I was about to ask if you may have a link that you could send me.
No, we're gonna subscribe. We're gonna pay. We'll be paying viewers, Coach. But good luck this week. Looking forward to watching y'all play, and we'll chat again next week.
Sounds great. Thank you, guys.
Good luck, Coach. Appreciate it.
What a guy.
110 miles an hour. I mean, obviously, that's exaggerating, but the guy throws hard. I can't wait. I mean, that's Kansas State's 4-0, and Iowa. He said Iowa? Is it Iowa?
Yeah, Iowa.
It's 3-0.
That was the hitting coach at Kansas State, right?
Who?
You said, do you know who's the hitting coach at Kansas State, right?
Who's that?
Austin Waits.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
I haven't heard Austin Waits' name in a long
Yep.
time. Stanford, right? No. Where did he go to college? Virginia Tech?
Yes. There
Virginia
it is.
Tech.
I was thinking Virginia. I was like, no, not Virginia.
Yeah,
Virginia Tech. Yep.
Virginia Tech. Yep. He was. We worked out with him.
Yep.
Agencies. That's how we made all these people.
Good
you know?
dude, man.
Big weights guy?
Big weights guy.
A lot
Big
of
weights
weights.
guy.
All the weights.
I did want to ask if we were going to see a knuckler or not.
No.
Still can't
I feel like the conversation went. We had a lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah, I sat out. I understood.
No, it wasn't. You needed to sit out. I just felt like
He didn't want to hear for me.
we kind of needed to get him out of there.
I don't think
too, at the
Jay's
end.
in on that decision anyway. I think that's probably
That's probably just
probably a Coop and West decision, honestly. Now, if he threw one and that bitch hit the backstop, I think Jay would look at him and say, "Hey, no more of that."
I'd imagine.
It's out on that.
Think spinning or not?
I'd imagine Tommy White's gonna play this weekend.
I think
that's
so
what
too.
it sounds.
If he was
like.
trying to get a bat Sunday, I think he's probably.
I wanted to ask about him.
If
throwing,
not
but-
Tuesday, by the weekend, I
Yeah.
would imagine.
Yeah, they look good, man. I mean,
They did. They played one of the more complete opening weekends of baseball I've seen out of an LSU team in a long time.
next week's gonna be a big challenge.
No, it is, but I'm just saying opening week you could get a lot of stuff, dude.
Right.
You can get a
Right.
dominant hitting performance, an okay pitching performance. You can get a dominant pitching performance and a 5-2 win. I think all around there wasn't many errors. There wasn't they played really good baseball.
They did. I'm looking forward to the next week when it ramps up. You know, obviously they play Southern tomorrow. You can't overlook Southern, but you can imagine that they take care of business on Tuesday like they're supposed to, and they go out on the road in Round Rock, not Arlington or Dallas. Round Rock. Jesus Christ, Mikey.
Home of Ryan Goins.
Home of Ryan Goings. He doesn't live there anymore.
That's
Former
where
home.
he's from, though.
Former home, yes. Hometown. Yes, you're right.
Tell you,
Hometown.
Mikey's got a little edge to him today.
What? Was that edgy?
Not really.
Yeah, I didn't think I was being.
Lloyd's reaching today.
Yeah, Lloyd's.
He's got the stretch Armstrong arm today.
Yeah.
He's reaching.
But I mean, they're playing these teams. They're playing teams that are they're more equipped to compete with LSU, and then they go and play Texas on Tuesday. So it's going to be, 4 games of a challenge, and it's going to be fun to watch because I think you're going to really see how LSU is going to be able to, or how Jay is going to be able to run the team and run the lineup and the pitching staff and the bullpen. How he's going to be able to put all together against the teams that are competing against.
There's a good bit of
LSU.
sizing up going on next weekend, and I would imagine it's early enough in the season to where the consensus number 1 ranking is what people are like. I don't know. I'm kind of scared of them. They're like, I want a chance of this.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's gonna be hungry to play against them this weekend. So it's a good measuring test for them.
No doubt.
And when you go around the SEC and you saw what happened everywhere else, it's a testament to what LSU is kind of building on, because we talked about it before the year when you say there's a target on their back. It did feel that way in a sense, but then you see other teams. It's not easy to go out and sweep. It wasn't something that I would say – it's something that you wanted to see happen, but not something you totally expected. Then when you see Tennessee go 1-2, you see other teams around the league. It's a testament to what they're doing.
Hey,
Baseball's hard, man.
You're 100% right.
100%.
Sweeps are not easy.
No.
Sweeps are to be celebrated because they don't come that easy. And it really doesn't matter who you play.
You saw it in Game 3 where it was tight a little bit. Then Cruz hits a missile.
Well, Game 2 was
Game 2 was
5-3.
Game 2
You
was
know what I mean?
5-3 at one point, and they're like the 5th.
Yeah, so I think that's what the final was, right? 5-3 on Tuesday, and so, on Saturday, and so to your point, it's hard because you are the superior team, but baseball is such a crazy game that you may get a guy slinging poo-poo up there, and you just may not be able to hit it.
It could, and that
slinging
easily
poo-poo?
could have happened.
Yeah, what's slinging poo-poo? That's what I asked.
Put it on a T-shirt.
Well, you know.
Or you may get like Sunday where they hit balls hard all day and then
Yeah,
finally,
or
the
the
floodgates
gloves.
finally open.
Exactly.
But that was kind of the thing that she would have been worried about a little bit, as you talked about, like being below the hitting speed. I mean, they had a Friday night guy throwing 85.
Yeah, but that's fine.
But that's
fine.
not something that they've seen.
No, right. But like they had guys that were throwing 81 and 80,
They did.
79, like that stuff.
We sat there. The guy Saturday he was sitting at like 78 to 79, and all of a sudden Trey gets up there with a 2-strike count. He throws a heater at 87. I go, wait a
Where's
second.
that been?
I haven't seen that from 2 innings.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
So
You just never know, right?
don't.
And so like you may have in baseball, you may have you take Tennessee for example. Like some of those games weren't high scoring games. It wasn't like they were getting out hit. They just weren't hitting, right? And like I said, offense takes a little time sometimes to kind of find their groove. And people can have their opinions and people can say what they want about not liking Tennessee or whatever. And that's fine because, yes, they've rubbed some people the wrong way, but they're 1-2 and it's 3 games into the year, right? Like they have an opportunity to, they'll be fine, I think. And I think that series, whenever LSU plays here in April, is going to be awesome. And it's going to be electric. Beginning of March and like March, April. So it's like 31st to April 1 or 2. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday series. So yeah, I mean, I think they're going to put themselves in a position. They'll be just fine. Vanderbilt looked good. You had, like you said, outside of Tennessee, every SEC team won their series this week. And so it's going to be interesting to see. Tennessee's got 2 really good starters. I'd imagine that it's going to be very hard to keep those guys down. But
they're not bad.
They're not bad. But they got to win. Baseball's hard. And Tennessee's got a target on their back because of not only because of how good they were last year, how good they're supposed to be this year, and because of all the stuff that goes with
their presence.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. We should have a tailgate for our Friday Tennessee game.
I've heard worse ideas.
I think we should do that. Miked up tailgate. Let's get someone to say, hey, we'll have it. I'm sure we can get some people to say, hey, we have an RV or we have a spot, and just come and do it from there.
I feel like you know somebody that.
I do. Well, no, we're not going to bring that RV. That RV is struggling, Coach.
I know that, but it can make one more trip around the sun.
Yeah, but that's on us at that point. I'd rather let someone else.
Y'all have been talking about getting a new one for 10 years.
Well, you want to pony up the money? I mean, Jesus.
They don't just hand those things out.
You want to pony it up?
I feel like y'all could get a collective together.
We're trying. We're working on it.
I would rather you not. I prefer the old one. It's like the Kappa Sig fraternity house.
Listen, they're not going to get one that's like
state of the art.
I mean, they're going to get it nice. It's going to be nicer. It's going to be travelable. At least you can drive it but it's not going to be 2024 brand new Mac'd out like
Mercedes.
No, that's not how they want it because it's going to get beat up a little bit. That's how it should be.
Yeah. They've got to have a little character in it.
I heard the door go open. I don't know.
I did hear the door.
Does he have the code?
He does have the code. I texted to him last time. It's my mom's birthday. We're gonna take. What's your mom's birthday?
The
code is my mom.
Oh. We're gonna take a 30-second break. Joe just got here. We're gonna the unofficial hype man of women's basketball.
It's my mom's
birthday. Is in here. You're watching Miked Up. We'll be back to you in 1 minute.
Mommy gave me these shirts for y'all.
Oh yeah. Hey everybody, it's Mikie Mahtook from Miked Up. I don't even know what I was gonna say.
God damn it.
Take 2.
Ready?
Action.
Hey everybody, it's Mikie Mahtook from Miked Up. I mean,
I couldn't help it because you started laughing.
I mean.
All right, come on, let's get it.
Keep it going?
No, you gotta do the whole thing.
It's on brand. Oh, man.
Hey everybody, it's Mikie Mahtook from Miked Up. If you haven't already subscribed and liked our show, fuck. Like and subscribe to our show.
Yes, this is great. Take 4.
Liked and subscribed.
I like a nice bit
or
of credits,
subscribe
baby.
to
I
our
like
show.
the credits.
Let's go.
Outtakes.
Let's go.
Lock it up.
I got it. Hey everybody, it's Mike. My phone fucking rang.
It's unbelievable. This is great.
My phone rang.
Maybe 8's the number.
Let's go. I'm standing up. Yeah, I'm standing up. Hey everybody, it's Mikie Mahtook from Mik'd. If you haven't already liked or subscribed to our show, we're live every Monday, Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. from our studio. Come hang out with the boys, me, Jay Mitch, Jackie Boy, Lloyd. Lloyd has his shenanigans up in the corner. Come hang out with us again. Like and subscribe. We're live Mondays and Wednesdays from 6 to 8 p.m. Come hang out with us. We appreciate all the love. See you on the show.
Headlines.
Maybe you're gonna have. Are you gonna have a Heineken Silver for the game? Maybe.
I kind of want one now.
You gonna shotgun another one?
You want another? I don't know if you should shotgun because we saw how that went last time. You
I don't know.
won.
I feel like you got to redeem yourself.
I think
know.
so. If you can have a drink, I don't think you should shotgun it.
The way it went,
I'll
I think
enjoy
you should,
this
I think
one.
you should chug it, but maybe not shotgun it.
the way it went last time, it's
Yeah, I could do. I mean, I
Can't
can
sip
do
it.
anything. I know. All right, fuck it.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Go for it. There.
Oh, that's much
There you
better.
go.
1, 2,
Open
Three,
it up a little bit. You know what I
4,
mean?
5, 6, 7, 8,
Okay.
9,
Okay. It's
10,
now it's starting to drip. Now
11,
you're struggling a little bit.
12,
It's pretty good.
13.
13
Not bad.
seconds. I'll give you
Not
a
bad.
12 and a half seconds there. How was it? Was it good?
Delicious. You
It was
can't
very
do that
delicious. With a regular one.
with a regular one.
Right.
You can only do that with the silver.
With the silver, why? Because the silver's lighter. It's got
Lighter.
95 calories. It's pretty crisp.
I
No,
res-
that's not even. That wasn't even cold. I know you don't necessarily need a cold beer. That was room temp.
That's
But-
the
I respect
fraternity
how
days
quickly
to
you
me.
turned around and gave me a full sentence. That was quick. I
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
No
officer,
doubt.
I'm fine.
Respect that.
You've been, look, you've been
Walk the
around
straight
before.
line, kid.
Yeah,
You've been around before, but
it's just breakfast.
It's a very good beer.
It
It's a
is.
very light beer. It's something that you could
Easy to drink,
easy to drink,
easy to pour.
Yeah. But it's something that I think it should be in the rotation at tailgates, especially with LSU baseball coming up. We'll get into some of the LSU baseball conversation. Welcome back to Mic'd Up. Just missed our conversation with Jay Johnson. That's okay because we're on the internet, so we're gonna post it. Or you can just rewind it, just go back and then watch it. And then if you want to watch our next guest, who is the unofficial hype man of the women's basketball team, and Joe Schwartz. Joe, I appreciate you coming back on the show. Friend of the show, friend of ours. Welcome back. Just getting back from Gainesville for the dub. With the dub, y'all got 2 games left.
2 left.
One on the road, one at home. Last home game is the last game of the season, which is on Sunday.
Last regular season.
Right, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Regular season game on Sunday, and then y'all head out to the SC tournament, which is where?
South Carolina, Greenville.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Greenville,
Also, where one of the
Alabama.
clubs is, so.
So y'all gonna be the number 2 seed in the tournament
Yes.
behind South Carolina. So it's gonna be
Probably. Unless something crazy goes wrong, we should be the 2. We can't finish lower than 3rd.
Right.
okay.
Because Tennessee has 2 losses, we have 1 right now.
Right.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then
gotcha.
Tennessee plays South Carolina on Thursday night.
Right. Right. So let's say 1-2. So
Bust out
obviously
the
it just
Eagles
matches
jersey.
up y'all for y'all to get to
To bust out the Eagles
Yeah.
jersey.
get it matches.
I'll put a Tennessee jersey on for that game Thursday night.
It's
T. Martin.
it's lining up for y'all to match up in the finals, right? I'd imagine after getting through the South Carolina game, understanding kind of where the measuring stick is, understanding, hey, this was a big game. These are the things that we didn't do well. These are things that we did do well. I'd imagine that Kim's gonna have the girls ready to go for round 2 if that were to happen in the tournament. But the beauty about women's college basketball is they get to host in the PMAC during March Madness, which I think is awesome.
Yeah, I love that, and I think you've kind of seen college football playoff has said they're going to go that way in some of those early rounds in the years to come. I think there's something to be said about home court advantage, not from a standpoint of you're the higher seed, you get to play at home, but you look at the teams and their crowds, their attendances, and building the game. Like, why wouldn't you want to go to the PMAC? We had 15,000 in the game against Tennessee. We're 3rd in attendance behind South Carolina and Tennessee, and I think we've closed it within double digits right now. I think Tennessee's at like 8,200 something.
Damn, so UConn's not even in there anymore.
This is just SEC.
Oh,
SEC.
SEC,
Yeah,
okay.
this is SEC. But from an SEC attendance standpoint, you're talking about 3 pretty big-time teams and programs who have a lot of history back to the national stage. And the fact that you get to display that in the atmosphere in the best time of the year, March Madness, I think it's pretty special. And the girls, when we talk about our goals at the beginning of the season, we don't want to. I mean, you can't say you want to go undefeated. You can't say you want to win a national championship. Yeah, those are long, big goals that you have, but you got to be realistic with it. And so we said we wanted to finish top half of the league. We wanted to win 90% of non-conference games. We've done all that, but the big goal was put yourself in a position to host the first 2 rounds of the NCAA tournament. And as far as everything's looking, I think that's going to be very realistic. And I think come Selection Sunday, we'll be either a 1, 2, or 3 seed. I think a 1 seed's a stretch, but I think we kind of solidified ourselves as a 2. I think they had us in bracketology as the top 2 seed. So
basically the 5th overall seed.
And there's a lot of big games to be played. I think Utah and Stanford still have to play. South Carolina, Tennessee Thursday. Heck, we've got Mississippi State coming to our place on Sunday. They're playing real well. And then on the road at Vandy, that's going to be not going to be an easy one, not going to be a cakewalk. But
because it feels like a little bit that you have a target on your back. We just talked to Jay where they kind of are dealing with the similar thing. Whatever, when you get to be this hot at this time of the year, everybody's kind of gunning for you a little bit. Yeah. You've seen teams play up to your competition a little bit.
100%. Bob's our film guru, and he watched 11 full games on South Carolina. 11. I mean, that's pretty absurd. I don't know how many he watches per opponent, but out of the 11 games, South Carolina didn't play anywhere near as good as they played against us in any of those. They played good enough to beat teams, but then you watch the game on Sunday. They played Ole Miss, and Ole Miss had a shot to beat them at the buzzer. Didn't get the shot off. It was tied, and then they go into overtime, and South Carolina wins. But South Carolina is very good. They're hands down the best team in the country. No question about it. When they're on, they're on. They're the deepest team. But take them off their home court. Take them out of the state of South Carolina. Put them on a neutral site or someone else's home court. They're very beatable. And teams like South Carolina, like us, are going to have a target on our back moving forward. We're not scared of it. We're not going to shy away from it. I know Jay's not going to shy away from it. I know Brian Kelly's not. No, I mean, it's LSU. What do you expect? You should want to have that target on your back because it means you're relevant.
No doubt.
So, I mean, we're speaking about them. That's cool. Whatever. I don't really want to give them more than what they've done. What they've done. We know where they are.
I love that.
We know where they are. We know what they're doing. That game was what it was. How easy was it to, I guess, turn the page and get the squad to refocus and understand, like, this is where we are. This is what we've done. This is what's in front of us, and this is what you need to do to finish where you want to be.
Because sometimes that's the hardest thing to do, especially on a team that hasn't lost a game.
Right.
It's Mardi Gras. It's New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. King cake, that's a big thing around here. We got a nice slice of humble king cake, if you will. And we needed that. Yeah. It was a different experience for everyone on that team. Coach has played in that atmosphere before. She's coached in that atmosphere. She played in front of like 72,000 fans when she was going through the Olympic, I think it was the Olympic qualifiers or something. She played in front of like 72,000 in Russia. Like, she's played in big time atmospheres. I've played at Allen Fieldhouse. Well, I didn't play, but sat there and watched. Game was
great.
It was awesome, except we lost by 20. But I've been in some fun arenas. But back to building the game, like, that's what you want. But I think top to bottom, saying top, our seniors, Alexis Morris, LaDeja, who actually played at South Carolina for a couple of years, and then down to our freshmen, Samaya, Flage. It was very evident, and I think Jacques Doucet had a video on Twitter before the game when the girls were walking out of the tunnel, and South Carolina, you look up, they've got these red and black and white strobe lights flashing, music playing, just a crazy intro. And Samaya's face was just like, I mean, it wasn't even like deer in the headlights. This was like a little duck with maybe the wing not working, trotting across, like walking across I-10. Like, but that's what it is. The first time playing in an arena like that.
Yeah.
Definitely butterflies. But it's a good learning point.
Yep.
And like you said, you take it one of two ways. You take it this way, like, oh, South Carolina, they kicked our ass, like, whatever. Or you take it like Jalen Hurts said, you either win or you learn.
Yep.
And that's what happened in the Super Bowl. So that wasn't our Super Bowl. Our goals long term, we want to beat South Carolina. We want to be at the top of the SEC. They have 6 seniors that they're losing.
Yeah.
So they better be glad they got us this year at their place.
Right.
Because down the road, we don't know. They're going to keep bringing in talent. She's built a good program there, whatever. Give her her flowers. That's great. But she knows who's coming behind her.
No doubt. And I'd imagine, you know, I don't want to jump too far ahead because you have 2 games left. You have to finish the season strong, and you have the SEC tournament. But I'd imagine that the matchup between LSU and South Carolina in the tournament is a very realistic possibility. And, you know, when you get to that point, right, what are some of the things that they need to do to be able to say, you know what, we're going to control the game, we're going to control the tempo, we're not going to get beat? Because South Carolina's got 2 players on their team that not many people have, and that's the big giants that they have.
6'7" and 6'5".
That's what I mean, 6'7" and 6'5", down low on the block. And more so than the men's game, the women's game, the inside game is such an important part of that, right? Like, they're not having the point forwards. They're having, hey, these girls are getting the ball, and they're dominating, and they're physically just imposing their will. So how do you combat that?
You watch a lot of film on the games that South Carolina's played since they've played us. They've been in a couple close games. The Ole Miss game is the one that really stands out. It was guard play. Granted, Alexis played great, but our other guards, they struggled a little bit. They struggled with the defensive pressure. But some of that defensive pressure was on the perimeter was because of what the bigs were doing to our bigs down low. And I think Angel took it very personal. I think she realized, like, hey, I played against the best. Those are the best post players that we'll see this year. So it really woke Angel up. And I think what she did in the past 2 games proved that. Steffi Sorensen at halftime there's a game right now on SEC Network. She just said Angel Reese is her player of the year in the SEC. I don't know why she wouldn't be.
Right.
I mean, she's been the most dominant consistently, has the best stats, and shows up every night. And she didn't play great against South Carolina. Whoop-de-doo, the one game.
We have one, yeah.
Yeah. So, go ahead.
But speaking of that game, so if we're talking about those post players and how they played, I think as a whole it was very evident how physical they played. Have you seen an uptick from y'all side of it in physicality after that game?
A little bit. It's not to where we want it to be. Now, I will say this. Against Florida, I think they shot 20 free throws and we shot 8. I don't know if that was just really bad defense on our part or we're starting to bang a little bit more. Because we were fouling their post players down low. I think our guards are being more aggressive on the defensive end from a standpoint of, hey, we're going to get up in you and we're going to pressure. We're going to crash the glass. We're going to get back to our rebounding and our defensive mentality. But it was also nice to be able to put 90 on the board against Florida because our offense hasn't been great either. I think this was the first game we've shot over 40% in like our last 3 or 4 games. But we still have work to do. I mean, we're not at that defensive level that we need to be. We're not getting stops on top of stops on top of stops, and that's one thing we preach. A lot of people will probably hear behind our bench or in the crowd when our bench yells kill. And a kill is when you get 3 stops in a row. So you get your first stop, the plan is to go score. You get your second stop, you hope you score. When the other team gets the ball back for that third possession, our whole bench is screaming kill. Because when you get 3 stops in a row, and that is so demoralizing for
especially
the
if
other
you're
team.
going scoring on the other side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And our goal every game is 8 kills, and I think in 8 of our last 9 games we've been under that. So it's tough. It's very tough to do.
Right.
That was something that Buzz William, he does at A&M. That was something that Coach Smart did when I was at Texas. A lot of coaches on the men's side do it. I've started to see it more on the women's side, but when you can get back to that defensive mindset, knowing that we've got weapons on offense, that's when you become really dangerous. And we're very, very close. We spent a lot of time in the film room last week, and Coach Starkey had pulled together some clips, like against Ole Miss. The lead was like at 11, and then you get to 9, then you get back to 11, then you get to 13, and we're 1 or 2 possessions away on the defensive end. If we get one more stop, it could get to 13, get to 15. Or we're on offense and we're not executing, and we give them a turnover, it gets back to 9, and then we turn it over again and they hit a 3, it's back to 6.
And that's my next question is, right, turnovers have kind of been a little bit of an issue too, right?
Yeah.
Like you talk about the defense, right? You can get a couple stops, but if you're going over there and you're not scoring and you're giving the ball right back, then all of a sudden it's everybody's getting stops, nobody's scoring, and there's no rhythm, there's no vibe to the game, right? It's just kind of a messy game because everybody's just turning the ball over. Have you seen improvement over the last couple of games? Because in the turnover department,
well, that's the thing. So It's funny you asked that because I was talking to Coach Bob about this the other day. We only had 11 turnovers against Ole Miss. But if you look at all 11 turnovers, because our goal is under 17 turnovers a game. If you look at the 11 turnovers we had, I think like 4 or 5 of them were just us giving them the ball and they go wide open layup. So there's that fine line. Like, if we're going to turn the ball over, I'd rather us throw it six rows deep in the stands so we can go set our defense up. But the live ball turnovers, that's what's killing us right now. Just errant passes. We had a few of those against Florida yesterday. But Ole Miss, like, it really stuck out. We're up 10. Angel has a putback right above the media timeout, so 5 whatever on the clock, and we don't score the rest of the half, and they cut it to 2. So is it that the teams we're playing have that good defense? I don't think that's the case. We're not really executing on offense.
Playing with your food.
Exactly. Just over here. I don't like that.
Lloyd loves that phrase.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Though when you're that supremely talented, that's kind of what happens. You play a little bit down to your competition. It feels like, because you get comfortable.
And yes, but also, like you said about the target on your back, it's teams playing up to our competition or to our level of talent. And there's talented players. It's the SEC. Like, we've gotten Georgia's best shot. We got Arkansas's best shot the second time around. We got Tennessee's best shot. We got Ole Miss's best shot. And there's teams like Arkansas goes and loses by 23 to Georgia the other night. We played them to a 3-point game at our place. Like,
impossible to bet on right now.
Can't comment on that. But
I gotta stay away from that part.
It's like you're gonna get everyone's best shot, and especially in a league like the SEC where everyone knows everyone, and you've got all the common opponents, and you see all the film. You're gonna get everyone's best shot, and don't expect anything less from Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt probably thought they had a chance to beat us here, even though we beat them 20+. They were a few shots away. I mean, they missed a lot of open shots against us. They played good defense. They'll be ready to play on Thursday night when we play them.
So obviously you're going to host games here, right? March Madness, postseason, but the last regular season game is on Sunday. I don't want to say, nothing's guaranteed, because you're basically guaranteed to host at least one game here at the PMAC. But going into the SEC tournament, you'll still have some work to do. You would like to be a number 1 seed.
Yeah.
I think that you can play your way into a number 1 seed, winning the last 2 games, winning in the tournament. How important is it to have a good showing on Sunday here in the PMAC and be able to send the girls off to the tournament in South Carolina and say, hey, listen, you got all these people behind you supporting you. Look what you've done to the PMAC. I mean, the guys, you go to a guys game, you don't have anybody in there. The guys game on Saturday. Now, get it. It was Mardi Gras weekend. I don't know if there was one student in the student section. There was not. There was not, right? Yes. And I'm not saying it to be a stain on the. I'm talking about it because if you go look at a women's basketball game, it's the exact opposite. You have a lot of turnout. You have a lot of energy. How important is it to have a good showing the last home game of the season going into the tournament?
I think it's very important. One, because the girls deserve it. It's senior night, senior day. I don't know what time the game is. I think it's an afternoon. Early afternoon. Yeah, early afternoon.
That's right. Just show up. You know what I mean?
They'll give me.
Somebody will text you.
But for Alexis, someone like Alexis, who's given not only so much to LSU, but to Coach Mulkey. I mean, you got to remember, Alexis Morris was a freshman at Baylor for Coach Mulkey, and Coach Mulkey kicked her off the team freshman year.
Right.
Well, Lex scatters all over the country, decides to go to Rutgers for a little bit, goes to A&M, and then last summer calls us back and said, hey, I'm coming to Baton Rouge. Shows up at the team meeting, and what she's done for our program, the type of leader that she's been, she deserves it. LaDeja Williams transfers here, has had a very good 5th year. She deserves it. Emily Ward, walk-on turn scholarship player, local kid. Jasmine Carson. Those seniors, people don't realize how special it is to have seniors. I think especially on the men's side, you don't really see.
And that's in every sport, too.
Yeah.
They're important.
Yeah, baseball, you can leave after 3. Football, you leave after 3. So these kids that stick it out and go through the ups and downs, they're the ones that really give everything to the program. Because not that leaving or transferring, we love the transfer portal, but when you leave after your 3rd year to turn pro or whatever, that is for your personal benefit. For these kids that stay, those 4th, 5th, and the COVID kids who have their 6 years, they're the ones that deserve it. Also, for the students who are seniors, who have been coming to games the past 2 years for us, because COVID was before that. COVID was, I guess, sophomore year for a lot of these now seniors, they missed out on some of these crazy atmospheres and sporting events, and it's so great to finally have fans back in the PMAC. But you can't tell me if you're a student and you have attended our women's basketball games this year, you haven't had fun. So for those seniors who have been coming to our games the past couple of years, I know we're losing a couple of our balcony bingles. A couple of them are seniors this year. Like,
next man up.
Exactly. But for this last regular season home game, because for NCAA, the rules are different on who gets to sit where and the different sections. We won't have a true student section. We'll work on some things to make it a student section.
Oh, really?
So the NCAA,
is that every sport?
The NCAA, they take over your arena. Yep.
During March Madness. I thought you meant moving forward. Like, well, that kind of stinks.
No. For March Madness. So last year, Coach Mulkey bought all of that section behind the basket, all those tickets, allowed and gave them to the students. So I'd assume we're going to do something like that again this year. And last year it was great. I don't know what the Mardi Gras parade schedule is this year, but last year we played Ohio State on the day of the Mardi Gras parade. But the Mardi Gras parade was in the morning. We played mid-afternoon, so everyone just came absolutely crazy hammered. Like,
good Lord.
Unfortunately,
from the layup line,
Mardi Gras is going to be over by then. But okay.
St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day. That's what it was. That's what it was. Yeah.
Listen, I don't know. I don't know if I will be able to make it in the afternoon on St. Patrick's Day. I will watch it as best I can on the TV.
Me too.
Well, is St. Patrick's Day Saturday?
It's all the parade.
Yes, it is.
All right, so let's pray that we get the Friday Sunday draw this year.
Well, there
you go.
Yeah,
get the
not
Friday
the Saturday
Sunday
Monday.
draw.
Let's pray Friday. I'd rather the Friday.
I like the
Well,
Friday
if we
draw.
win Friday, then we
Sunday.
we play Sunday.
Sunday afternoon.
If we get the Saturday, we play Monday.
That's when you wake up.
I found out. This is a side note, but I did find out who is playing at St. Patty's Day.
You breaking news right now?
I'm not. I will not tell you who it is, but it is fun.
Under. Better than last year.
I mean, you can't. I mean, last year's tough to compete with.
Yeah, last year's was definitely tough to compete.
I mean, the
What
guys.
do you know?
But this year it'll be the performers will be very entertaining, and there's a lot of bangers. That's all I need to say. But anyway, hopefully I'm celebrating after the win on Saturday because I'm riding in a float, so I'm gonna be inebriated.
Perfect.
Right, and then on Sunday. Luckily, it ends. I'm not gonna be out all night, and I'll just come to the game on Sunday.
Yeah. It sucked last year that the parade was on that day because parades are fun. I mean, I'd love to be able to go in a parade. I think they wanted. Excuse me.
Well, there you go.
A parade will get you.
I think they wanted to get Mulkey to ride in a float last year, but we just couldn't.
Of course. I mean,
that was electric.
Can you imagine if she rode in a float, then went out and won again? Like, you can't do that.
No. But in an Eagles jersey.
Oh, hey, shots fired. Shots.
No. Yeah, I think Friday, Sunday, or Saturday, Monday are those dates. I don't know. I guess we'll find out selection Sunday. But speaking of, back to the question, we got on this huge tangent.
That's what we do on the show.
Yeah, it's fun. How important is it to send our girls off like that? It's our gold game. We're gonna have the Sunday golds on.
Is a whole crowd is it a gold game for the crowd? Is that like
I think there'll be T-shirts for gold T-shirts for the fans.
Because the whiteout was sick.
Whiteout was sick. The pink out was sick too. It just sucked that it was raining.
Right.
I mean, you had a lot of hype behind the game. Students still showed out though. I mean, students still showed out. I think we had almost 600 students there, and I only know that because Coach Starkey said that he would donate $1 to the Breast Cancer Foundation for every student that was there.
How awesome was
Flage?
Yeah, Flage.
I mean, that's special. That's
1,000? Was that what you said? 1,000?
Rounded up to 1,000. Donated out of her pocket.
She's playing a game, dude.
But I think one last time, regular season in the PMAC. Let's get loud, rowdy, party in the PMAC. Sunday afternoon. There's no excuse. Like, the kids have been out of school. They don't have school today. They don't have school tomorrow. They don't have school Wednesday.
School doesn't matter.
It's like Thursday, and then who has class on Friday? It's like, just roll it into the weekend.
Yeah.
Come to the game Sunday. Pack it.
Make it a bender.
Church, brunch, and basketball.
Yeah, exactly.
Church, brunch, and basketball. I like that.
And I think there's something to be said about our attendance this year. Just looking at the numbers, South Carolina, it's taken them forever to build that. Where was Dawn in year 2? Go look at those stats and then come talk to Kim. But what Coach Mulkey's been able to do in a year and a half, a year and 3/4, whatever you want to call it, and seeing the students rally behind her, seeing the community rally behind her, it's like,
I mean, shit. He had the Iron Man
yeah,
in attendance watching the game. Cal Ripken Jr. was there watching the game.
yeah.
What's the connection with Cal? Like, is there a connection with Kim?
His
and
daughter's
Cal?
going to vet school.
She's trying to
They're
get into vet
touring,
school,
yes.
right?
I mean,
Yeah.
I'd imagine that Cal could
Yeah.
probably pull some strings.
I'd imagine. Yeah.
I mean, if she took care of him, he's the Iron Man.
He's
I
the
mean,
Iron Man.
we walk into the game at
I mean,
Florida.
his teammates with Ben McDonald, so that was.
She's in.
we,
We should be more worried about Brett.
What?
Brett Favre's daughter is trying to play volleyball here.
She is on the volleyball team here.
That's
Is
more
she?
problematic.
Oh, I wasn't talking.
beach volleyball, I think.
Beach volleyball.
How did Brett come up?
Yeah, but then how? Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
I don't know.
Tangent.
he is suing Pat McAfee.
Yeah, he is suing him.
Well, what about this? We get to Florida. We get to Gainesville, and a couple days before we left for Florida, Doug Peterson sends Kim a text say, "Hey, you have 2 tickets." So Doug Peterson and his wife
I
sat.
saw that.
sat
Were they,
courtside.
so were they at La Tech? Doug Peterson wasn't at La Tech. was
ULM,
he?
I think.
Yeah.
I think Louisiana Monroe. And his wife grew up going to Lady Texters basketball camps. Has been a huge Kim fan, and
That's awesome.
I mean, not that you care about celebrities and big time people, but the amount of people that are coming to our games. My buddy, defensive end for the Saints, Malcolm Roach, played at Texas with me. He texted me the other day like, "Hey,
that.
can I come to the game?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. I'll get you the best seats I can." And about 10 minutes before the game, he's walking in, and one of our boosters was like, "Hey, I have 2 extra court sides, so boom, let's put him on the floor." Sat next to Janice Guitro.
That's
Talked
awesome.
Guitro's ear off the whole game. But
Safe to say people are behind what Kim's
doubt.
building here.
No doubt.
I mean, it's just going to get even better. Jasmine Carson hit 7 threes yesterday. Well, her uncle, you know who that is? Samuel L. Jackson. Tweets at her yesterday, "Doing what you do."
wow, I love that.
So,
Wow.
Say what again?
Jasmine Carson, 7 threes. Samuel L. Jackson tweets, "Doing what you do." And little hint here, like you're hinting at Uncle Earl's, we've got some big time people for these LSU hype videos for the postseason.
Oh, I can't wait.
Love it.
I'd imagine.
Spike Lee's going to be behind those.
Wow.
No, hold on, sorry, Sheldon Lee.
I know.
But that Spike Lee. But we've got some people who have agreed to narrate some of the hype videos. So let's make a deep run in
I like that.
in March, whether it's SEC.
I mean, I'd imagine that they go as far as they think they can go, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's no limit. Obviously, they saw how they matched up against South Carolina, but moving from that game, they've come out, they've taken care of business, they've won the games they needed to win. You'd imagine like they can go out and they can make a deep run.
And that
this
game,
year.
that game too, if it happened again, won't be played in Greenville.
I mean, listen, and
SEC championship.
yeah, but like
Well,
in the
outside.
tournament,
Yeah.
outside
In the
it'd
tournament.
be
In the
I
tough.
mean, like
Yeah.
the way South Carolina started that game couldn't have been any worse for LSU.
Correct.
Like I mean, that was just
18-2.
and then they evened the game out. They leveled the game out and got to single digits. And
cut
then
it to 3. What more
Yeah.
can you ask for? And then
Right.
they extend it back, and then out of halftime, we cut it to 5. 45-40 in the third quarter. Like
Right.
we were right there, but
It's hard to win against 6.
well, we're not going to get into that side.
That's me saying it.
What we were lacking there was just that mental toughness to find that next gear.
Right.
We got the gears started turning once
Yeah.
we got down 18-2 because we easily could have just flipped the
Right.
switch and said let's take it to the
but
house.
to beat teams like that, you can't allow those situations to happen.
Right. And like I joked about earlier, one of the first times I went to Allen Fieldhouse was a lot like that. We came in with a lot of energy. We were top 25 team, middle top half of the Big 12 standings, and Kansas just goes on this crazy run to start the game, and it just kept getting louder and louder and louder. But the fact that our girls were able to kind of weather the storm, so to speak, I think that just it gives you hope for March, because the final score, we lost by 24. That doesn't indicate how good of a game that was.
Right.
I mean, they whipped us. They did, but it wasn't a 24-point game just because the final score was 24. It was close. There was a lot of goods that we could take from that game, and we've learned from it. And I think we're getting back to where we need to be. And everyone says you want to peak in March. We're still climbing. I mean, we're getting closer to where we need to be.
I'll tell you what, all the sports, the lead up to those runs in big time basketball, like when the run starts to start like this, someone comes down, makes a 3, they go down there, they get a steal, they go down fast break, layup, they come back down, miss, and you go back down, you make another 3.
Kill.
Like that build up to like that momentum is, I don't think that there's anything like that in any sport, right? Like
No.
The crowd, like the way the crowd starts to level up every possession, then all of a sudden, like it just explodes. I'm like, that's what makes basketball, especially college basketball, so awesome. You don't really see that in the NBA until you get to like playoff basketball and those types of things, just because the season's so long. But in college, I mean, that's a real thing, right? And like you kind of felt that early on, and so to overcome that, I think is a big thing, positive.
And another thing, and it probably hasn't come up much, but we're one game back from we lost South Carolina, half a game back, I guess, whatever you want to call it. They play at Tennessee on Thursday night. Anything can happen.
Right.
So if we take care of business on Thursday night against Vandy.
Well, so yeah, how's that work?
If Tennessee steals one against South Carolina,
so they would still win it though, right? Because they have the tiebreaker.
We would be co-champions. They would have head-to-head and be the 1 seed. So we technically could be playing for an SEC championship or a share of the SEC championship on Sunday at home.
There you go.
I mean,
even more reason to show up.
Like, you never know what's going to happen Thursday. South Carolina's good. Tennessee's good. And
where's the game?
In Knoxville.
You just said that.
I know. Well, I wasn't listening to that part of the conversation.
I will say
Lloyd's doing double work over there.
I got to give credit to my brother here. So we had Wi-Fi on our plane flying back from Gainesville on Sunday, and the Wi-Fi didn't. Well, you couldn't stream on it. You can still text and everything. So my brother FaceTimes us, and he's holding the phone up like this on the TV screen, and we're all watching it, watching the Ole Miss game. We were all Ole Miss fans for a few seconds there, because
what was the final of that?
It ended up being 6 or 7 point game, but once again, the biggest lead of the game was the final score.
Right.
I mean, Ole Miss was within 2 possessions the whole game,
right,
and took the lead with a minute left. It was 55-54 with a minute left.
Well,
so
we're gonna keep pumping it here to make sure that everybody's there on Sunday.
Yeah.
I would like to go on Sunday. I don't think I have anything going on this weekend. I'd like to be there on Sunday. So I think I'll take the wife and we'll go.
I think it's an afternoon, like a little bit later in the afternoon. Let's see, Sunday, February 26th.
Go to the calendar.
5 o'clock. LSU versus
perfect.
Mississippi State.
Look, you got a little Sunday scaries. You leave the house, go there.
Maybe go get some crawfish and get you some beers before the game, and then show up.
It's crawfish season, baby.
Yeah.
You want to finish this? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, when is Alexis Morris going to finish the highlight tape? She's so close to putting somebody on a mixtape tour, and she can't finish. It crushed her in the highlight.
Oh yeah, that one hurt her. She was so when she crossed that girl for Ole Miss. Oh my gosh, she's close.
Had to finish
it, but she will. I mean, but later in the game, she hits that shot right in front of our bench that kind of sealed the deal. But yeah, I think this whole season has kind of been a highlight reel for Lex.
No doubt.
She's got some big games coming up. I was on the phone with my dad before I got out of the car, and he was like, "Lex," and I'm like, "Dad, Lex is fine."
She's really the only. I say the only one. She's not the only one that's capable of doing it, but she's the only one that's consistently done this year. Is able to score off the dribble.
Yeah.
Right. Like create her own shots, be able to score whenever kind of she wants to. All right. Everyone else kind of. I'm not saying they can't do it. They just haven't consistently showed it. And now that goes into her being a senior. She's done it for a while, and she's super talented. But I think that's important to have, especially in the tournament, because you need somebody when everything's going to shit. You need somebody to say, get the ball and just score.
Yeah,
like you go and make it.
Kayla Pointer for us last year.
Yep.
When everything fell apart, give her a high ball screen or don't even set a screen and let her go to work.
Yeah.
And that's very, very valuable to have in March. She's got to get through Vandy on Thursday, get through Mississippi State, and kind of then you get to take a little step back. You don't, not much, because you got to go play a SEC tournament. But even Coach Mulkey will say it. Conference tournaments really don't mean a ton to her.
Right.
Obviously, any game that we step foot on the court, we want to go win. But we can't overlook whoever we play in the first round. Last year, we get Kentucky in the first round, and they got all their girls back, and they were like an 8 seed, and they ran us out of the gym.
Yeah.
So that middle pack of the SEC, the Arkansas, the Georgias, the Mississippi States, that group right there in the middle of the SEC is who probably we're going to play in the first round. And you can't take them for granted, because what you don't want to do is get sent home early and then you sit and you have to wait a full week until – I mean, you're going to have to wait regardless, but I think our first game would be on Friday, the SEC tournament. Selection Sunday is not till the next Sunday. So it's different than the men's game where conference tournaments lead up right into Selection Sunday.
Right.
You got to go home and wait a full week. So it'd be nice for us to get 1 or 2, maybe 3 wins in Greenville and come home feeling pretty good.
Yeah, no doubt.
Have some good energy and I think we've got a team crawfish boil planned at Mr.
There you
Ivan's
go.
house that week. We've
There you
got some fun stuff for the girls to keep them locked in. And then Selection Sunday, we'll see where we get. One more note, you said send-off. We are having a send-off outside, I think, the admin building on Wednesday of next week before we leave for Greenville.
Nice.
Last year we had a very good showing. A couple hundred fans showed up.
Nice.
It'll be at noon on Wednesday. I think we'll announce that
All right.
later this week and start promoting that.
Yeah,
But,
we'll promo that for y'all for sure.
it's really cool to see fans come out. I know it's tough during the day for people to leave work, but students, if you're walking in between classes and happen to be by the stadium, it's fun. Coach really gets the girls hype, and Greenville next week,
That's
but
it.
Nashville this week, and one more home regular season game Sunday.
Nashville.
Me too.
Nashville's a good time.
Happy for you.
Go to
I
St.
appreciate you coming on the show, dude. Always. It's always fun. You can sit and we have 2 segments if you want to sit through the segments with us, unless you got to bounce. You don't have to stay. I'm not trying to bully you into staying, but
Probably go eat dinner.
yeah, go eat dinner.
But yeah.
All right, dude. Well, I appreciate you. Anytime you want to come on, we'll be on. I'm gonna try to be out there on Sunday. I'll hit you up and let you know.
Yeah,
for
please
sure.
Please do. It'll be a fun one.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Appreciate y'all.
Should we take a little break?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Take a
let's show
30-second break. Let's let him get him out of here. You're watching Mic'd Up.
Appreciate you, dog.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
God, I forgot what I was going to do.
Well, you have the sticker on your head.
Well, that's good. Brought to you by EFCO.
There you go.
Every
Who's
single-
EFCO?
EFCO.
Development.
Development.
There we go.
EFCO
Keep
Development.
going. EFCO Development is a civil construction company based out of Lafayette, Louisiana. They specialize in
Math went bye-bye to me long ago, so
Huh?
I never had a chance to work there. Like
You what?
math, engineering and all of that such. So, the smarter people. That
Well,
have-
so civil engineering. Let me explain to you how this works. The civil engineering is more about the earthwork and the ground, and you prep the land before you build vertically. And I don't know how much mathematics that they are actually doing
Maybe Jay can tell us.
in that spot. So I don't think the math excuse to you is a thing. But EFCO Development, our friends. That's why you have the sticker on your forehead. I'm sure your friend, title of the day. Welcome back to Mic'd Up. I like the new music. It was a good addition. Thanks, Leon.
Thank you,
Leon. Our
Leon.
boy Leon Landry. Appreciate that.
Must be.
That was Joe Schwartz. What?
Well, no, I'm not.
Okay. That was Joe Schwartz talking LSU women's basketball. He, like you mentioned,
A lot of baby making
last
music,
game on Sunday. Last home game, regular season home game is on Sunday. Go out and support the girls before they leave for the SC tournament. But with that, the show is coming to an end for the day, and we got our seggies.
No show tomorrow.
Like normal. Like normally, we don't have a show tomorrow on Tuesdays. Tomorrow is Mardi Gras, but regardless, we don't have a show because we don't have shows on Tuesday. But it's our seggies, and I keep saying that we need to do mistake of the day earlier, but sometimes we get caught up in situations the schedule doesn't allow.
Old habits die hard.
Yeah, but look, he came in right in at 7. We didn't have that much time, so we're gonna get to the mistake of the day, which is brought to you by Doe's Eat Place, our friends at Doe's. Never been to Doe's, you probably should go try it out if you want to go to lunch. They have great burgers. They have a great lunch menu if you want to go for dinner. I recommend getting any type of steak on the menu because it is one of the best in Baton Rouge. Tamales actually are fire there too. So
Little
go
chili?
try them out. Look, they're fire. They're good.
Been there.
They're good.
The trick is to get the steak and then get the French fries. Play a little soppy.
There you go. There you go. Use it in the juice.
A little juice.
All right, mistake of the day brought to you by Doe's Eat Play. This is Lloyd's segment. Lloyd, what you got?
This is dovetailing off what your curtain call may be, but my mistake of the day is this man trying to hijack the dunk contest by giving himself his own score, which did not work out for him the way that he thought it might have. 1.2 million views on the internet, and not in a good way. So I don't even
Look at the crowd.
Nothing.
Rewind it again. So all the way. Watch. He dunked it. Not one person reacted. And then he takes that out, and it takes him forever to open it.
And he rips it.
Yeah. Tough.
I mean, this is brutal.
This is tough. This is cringy.
This is. I don't even like watching it again, to be honest.
Like, what is happening? What's going on? Okay, get out of this. This is cringy. Tough. Listen, I can't do that. But he also grabbed the net and pulled himself up a little bit.
First off, when we dunk in here, let's not grab the net and pull ourselves up a little bit. It's probably not the move.
That is a good mistake of the day. Can't be doing that.
A lot of mistakes.
See, that went better in his head
Porterhouse.
than it actually happened in reality. Like, he thought that in his head. He envisioned that happening a lot differently than it happened.
I mean, he should.
You think he felt good when he laid down that night?
His car, I think no. I think he like did like, you know, when you get that uncomfortable like butterfly like pit in the stomach feeling of like, damn, I'm kind of embarrassed. That's probably what he felt.
Like I can't personally put my elbow in, but I'm not sure he can either because he pulled himself. All right, so yeah, that's not it.
And it's been done before.
That wasn't it.
And it was done in a lot better way.
Yeah, don't copy Vince if you ain't Vince. But then also, Mac went for the.
But that was different. Well, I'm gonna get to that.
Stole the show.
All right. That was a mistake of the day. Again, brought to you by Dozy Place. Our curtain call is brought to you by our friends here at Assured Partners.
And
me.
Okay.
Me and my friends at Assured Partners. Curtain calls. You want to go? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. Mine's easy, real easy. Not opening day, obviously, but we got pretty much. Well, tomorrow, the 21st, you'll have every major league team in camp, so it is pretty much officially baseball season.
Love that.
So, curtain call of that. It's that time. You're up.
Mine is former LSU Tiger Drew Bianco, transferred to Houston.
Unbelievable.
Great play.
And made the SportsCenter top 10 by robbing a homer this weekend.
We had the video?
I didn't know he had it like that.
I did.
But Mikey was the one to let me know that he's a better athlete than you think. He just has a little bit of a.
Drew's a ball player, dog.
Oh, he's a baseball player.
Just put him anywhere.
He goes gets it, dude.
Yeah, he can play.
He's playing center field.
Nolan used to always say he was their best center fielder on the team back then, and this is when he was like not really playing that much.
Here's the deal: watch when he catches it. So a lot of guys, when you jump on the wall and you catch it, you jump on the wall and you go this way and you just kind of get an estimate. You don't really.
Well, you have a lot of experience.
You don't really track it with the eyes. I didn't jump for that ball. Like that. I knocked it over. I didn't jump against the wall. I jumped away from the wall and then knocked it over the wall. I also have a Rob in the big leagues. I have 3 of them. So let's pump the brakes over there.
I don't see those on the trailer.
I've hit one out. Well, I don't make the trailer. I've also brought some back. Okay, so let's.
You want us to get? We got to put that one in there. Or no? Lloyd's going at him.
Let me go get it. Go look at the one from Baltimore. Just go look at it.
We'll probably get flagged, the MLB.
Yeah, you can't put that on there. All right. That's a great one. What's yours?
My curtain call is, I know that this is a little forward, but our guy JD5, the incumbent starter, is spinning it. And it looks like his man has made some improvements. Jared Mitchell may disagree.
Stretch Armstrong.
I mean, why you gotta throw me in this? This is your curtain call.
This is your curtain call.
That's what I'm saying. Look at this man look at him spin the rock.
His throwing motion does look a little cleaner, and it looks a lot quick. It looks a little quicker. I agree with you. Throws are on the money. This is good to see him working on the craft that everybody wants to see him working on. So I agree. This is a good curtain call because he's showing the work, and he's putting balls where he needs to put it, and it's a quick release. I'm with you. I think it looks good.
Thank you. And so shout out your starter, JD5.
Shout out, JD5.
If he's going to do this, you might want to put that feature in on LSU football.
I don't think this is what. Whatever.
Yeah, there's just I don't know.
Is that Ron Perlin?
Whatever. Doesn't bother me one bit. When it comes to him and it comes to his throwing, I don't really think it's the actual act of throwing. I just think people want to see the better decision making in him actually attempting to throw it.
Yeah.
Not so much, it looks better, it looks cleaner. So to me, I don't care.
Just looks a little more confident.
Lloyd loves it. So
loves it. That's fine. My current call is McClung. If you didn't watch the NBA All-Star Weekend, again, I've talked about this before. I think the NBA All-Star Weekend does the best job. Now, hockey does a pretty good job of making it about the players and doing all these things. Well, NBA All-Star Weekend, you have 3-point contest, skills competition, and then this. And McClung, over the last week, has changed his entire life. You've probably noticed he played at Georgetown. He was a YouTube sensation. He was an Instagram sensation because of all of these dunks that he was doing from high school on. He went to Georgetown, didn't get drafted, was in the G League, signed 5 days ago but with the Sixers, gets put in the dunk contest, and he wins it. Does not miss a dunk. And he does some outrage. I mean, he just double pumped over somebody. Like,
This is insane.
His head's at the rim, and he's not very tall. And the
he's-
last one right here that they're about to show.
And he's Caucasian.
It's been a long time since we've seen just
A white man doing that.
successful
Did
dunk
you show? Did you not
attempts.
show the last one? The last one was the best one. This one.
Man, but
I mean, that was a 540.
That thing was Vince Carter.
Yep. And he didn't miss.
What is he, 6'2", 6'3"?
And then so the next one. Can you pull up the next link that I put on there? I don't even know if he's that tall.
I think he's somewhere like
6'2",
that.
yeah.
what?
Look at this.
That's crazy.
And I have one more curtain call after this because somebody was having a time at Mardi Gras. Good to see him step out.
So this is the next thing that well, not the picture.
This is all you put in there.
No, go get out of that.
Wait, let me see. 2 years straight. That's a 720. That's almost a 720. Wow. That's a 360. A G Leaguer has saved. He has saved the dunk contest. He almost did the 720.
That. So, in the past 5 days, he went from G League, being undrafted, going to the G League, signing to the Sixers, signed by Puma, and then he won the slam dunk contest. His life has changed for the better over the last week, and to me, I think that's awesome. I think the ability to be able to do that in basketball. You saw it a little bit with Alvarado last year for the Pelicans, and you get to see this year with Mac McClung. Shaq said he saved the dunk contest, is what Shaq said.
By
And
far.
I think, that's awesome. So that's my curtain call.
Flawless execution.
Flawless. What's your other one?
Yeah, what else you got for us? Lloyd.
I had to delete him because the camera was fading in and out on us a little bit. We had too many things in the outpost, so I'll let you know whenever I get it back up. But it is our guy.
Our guy.
Our guy.
He's
Whose
a
guy?
Louisiana native.
Okay.
Okay.
Right?
That's
Okay.
closer.
Finally, for the first time in his life, has life behind his eyes. And that is Arch Manning having himself a time
He's doing what he's supposed to do.
at Mardi Gras.
He's doing what he's supposed to. He's enjoying Mardi Gras. He's born and raised in New Orleans. This is what everybody does. in
Hell of a
college.
shirt.
You think that shirt's being packed and going back to Austin with him?
I don't think so. I mean, that's what I'm saying. He was rocking hookahs and a scooter, and now you have this version of him where he should have just gone to LSU. This is where he's supposed to be.
I think he's he can do what he wants to do. But this is good. It's good to see. It's nice to see him live it up, and nice to see him be a actual college
human
student.
being.
Yeah. So I'd imagine that he does this a lot more than
I think
we
he's
see.
probably, yeah, I would say so.
You know what I mean? Like this is we just don't. See
I would
the
say he's
picture.
got some good tutelage of how to
Yes.
do it not in
Yes.
the public eye.
The last time, I saw him on social was the girl making him say hotty toddy.
That's called smart.
He still won't.
You know that meme?
You should request him as a friend request, and he wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I'm still waiting. I'm still pending on Instagram.
I'd imagine that you're always going to be pinned.
I think so too.
You should unrequest it and then send it again so it kind of.
I don't think that works. I ain't desperate.
You should do it just for the
I'm
fun.
gonna
Like
do
the
it right
people
now.
that never mind.
Slap him with
Good
a
night.
couple of likes too.
Yeah.
Well, I can't like
But you
anything
can't
because
like it
he's
if
private.
private.
Oh man, that's great. Well, maybe you can.
Just to make sure that he sees you. Maybe he didn't see you because he has a lot of people following. So if you unfollow and follow him back, maybe he'll see the alert.
Maybe
and
he'll
be
see
like, oh.
this.
Maybe if you pay for a blue check mark, because now you can do that on Instagram, maybe he'll follow you back.
What is it? $11.99?
I don't know what it is.
Wow, that made it to Instagram
Cheaper
too.
than
Already?
watching LSU baseball.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
That's fucking the real mistake of the day. My God. You can
What?
put
$25 to watch 3 games
So $5. I mean, $25 each a ticket.
for a weekend. No, for
No,
the
so-
D1 baseball thing.
They put it on the paywall.
Oh. Yeah, I knew that. I thought you meant like the tickets for like
It's cheaper to go to the game.
$25. So if I paid $25 to watch all the games just for the weekend, that's not for like the whole membership of D1 baseball.
Yeah, it's a weekend pass to watch them.
Yeah.
You know what's gonna happen? I'm probably gonna do it. So
No.
Well, Lloyd said it's cheaper than going to the game.
yeah. Lloyd, you missed some good tickets.
Or cheaper to go to the game. That's what you
Yeah,
said, right?
that's what I said.
I didn't pay $1.
So how you
all
gonna get to?
weekend.
You missed some
Round
good
rock.
tickets.
You
You've
gonna
been
walk?
right there in the middle, right behind. We've been right next to Skip.
Yeah, we gotta
Saw
talk to
Skip
Skip for a little
yesterday.
bit, man.
You've been right next to Skip.
I get Tennessee tickets.
I was right above y'all.
I'm getting Tennessee tickets.
in the middle. Yeah.
I
I'm
didn't
working
see
on it. I'm working on it.
We just chilling, kicking.
Just chilling.
Kicking.
Popcorn, Snickers, the whole deal. It was a good day. It was great weather, actually. It was
Verico's
very
Fane
good.
Day.
Yeah. No, that was Sunday.
That was a Bluebird Day.
Yeah, I guess.
A
I
robin
didn't listen.
peg.
I didn't listen to the game.
State of Commerce.
I didn't either, but I'm sure somebody puckered up.
Yep.
Catch
A lot of
that
pu-
baby
they had 4 of them.
goodbye.
Four
Four of
puckers.
Great show today, boys. Happy Monday. Happy
Mardi Gras?
Eve of Mardi Gras.
Is that Lundy Gras?
It's Lundi Gras, then it's Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday, and then Ash Wednesday, and then
I bet you're a big Ashes guy, aren't you? Do you
Yeah.
rock them the entire time?
I mean I'm Catholic and I go get my ashes, but I mean
Rod said
them-
that as if it was like a bad thing. Like,
I mean I am Catholic and I do go get my ashes. Yes, I do that. That is
no,
part
but do
of
you
my
rock
routine.
like? Do you wash them off or do you wear them all day?
I mean I get my ashes and I go home. If I'm like you're not supposed to wash them off, but like I mean if they come off, it comes off. There's a lot of times where I'll scratch my head and like if I
But
smear
you're
it-
trying to rock them all day.
I mean, I don't need to take it off. You know what I mean? But like, it's not something that I'm going to go out there and make sure that I keep.
I
it
mean,
on.
if you're gonna do it, you might as well do it right, Lloyd.
yeah, I mean,
How you do anything is how you do everything.
That's right.
I mean,
I've said that to you a few times. How you do anything is how you do everything.
I feel like I've been
Lloyd's
better.
like, you really get those, and you wear them all day.
Would you see people at like the
You don't like
grocery
them once.
store and it's like, bro, what happened to you?
Yeah, but that's what you. But that's what it is.
Real- yeah,
it's
I
the
mean-
traditions. You know what I mean? Like that's the. I mean, it's fine. You don't have to agree with them, but that's just the way it works.
Try hard.
Like I don't think that's a try hard. I think a try hard is when you put something on there that's not. You know, for no reason. I mean, jeez.
Hey, you better stop. They're gonna come get
You
you.
can get smited.
Smite me.
I can't. I wish I could, but I can't. Sometimes it'd be
You
good.
in that water
Just go ahead, guy. Give that water bottle a break, bro. That water bottle's winning over there.
It's the karma for your ass right there.
What is that
Being
karma?
mean to me. But you've been nothing but
You're
nice.
being mean. You're being mean. You're being
teasing
ugly over there.
me.
You're being judgy. You're being very judgy of people.
Yeah, let everybody know. Yeah, the high and mighty Catholics. Look at me.
I don't think that's kind of what they're trying to do, but it's okay.
What's wrong with you today?
Jeez. Look,
I'm Episcopalian now.
Lloyd has his,
They
has
just
his
give you the
issues, I
wine, no bread.
think. Great show today. It's a great Monday show. We will be back Wednesday
I'll do my dog
from our normal
ashes.
time on Ash Wednesday from 6 to 8 p.m. I probably won't have my ashes on because I'll take a shower before I get to the show.
I'm gonna wear mine.
Yeah.
My dog's
Yeah,
ashes.
we really believe that one.
Yeah, if you get ashes, it maybe just be burned in your forehead. That'll be your
Hail
smite.
Satan.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
boy.
I mean,
All right, we love. Hey, thank y'all. You listened to Lloyd long enough tonight.
yeah.
You need some
we'll
sleep.
Be back, yeah, we'll be back live from the show from 6 to 8 p.m. on Monday, and then we will be live from our studio 1 to 3 p.m.
We should do it from church.
We will watch the game.
Somebody say a
here.
prayer for Lloyd too.
Yeah, please. We will watch the game from here because the game is on at 2 o'clock on Friday. So I'll pay for D1 baseball. We'll have it on there.
Along?
I just told you that before. Do you not listen to what I tell you?
No.
I literally before the show I said we're gonna have a show on Friday. We're gonna watch the game.
You know what he's doing. Just look at your watch.
Yeah,
I know I can't stretch it 7 more minutes.
you're right. But if you like watching us and you like being part of it, please like and subscribe to our show.
Let's go.
And share it. Tell a friend. If you don't like watching us and you like listening to us, we're anywhere you get your podcast. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the love. We appreciate you seeing us in public and telling us that you like the show because that is great. I got stopped yesterday for some guy in our neighborhood. Me and Al are walking the dog. Said, "Hey, love y'all show." I said, "I appreciate that because you don't normally see that demographic. Usually it's younger ages."
You calling the guy old?
Yeah,
He was older.
you're
yeah,
ageist.
he was older. Oh, ageist? That's you just made that one up.
No, ageism is a thing.
Okay. Well,
Learn something new
Don't
every
fall. Don't
mean,
fall.
I'm
Just
not-
don't
I'm
fall. Keep going.
we
You know what he's
appreciate
doing.
y'all. Yep. We'll see you again on Wednesday. Enjoy,
Live
enjoy Monday.
from the
Enjoy
Catholic
Monday.
Church.
Enjoy
Don't
the
fall.
rest of your Monday. You're watching
pay.
Mic'd Up.
There you go.
See ya.
See ya.
That was so good.